Hi, and welcome to another episode of pianoTV. So today, I'm going to take you on a tour of my giant stack of favorite books at a grade 1 level or containing grade 1 songs of all different genres. The books are all different shapes and sizes because I'm very inclusive. So let's get going. So I would be remiss if I didn't first mention the Celebration Series RCM books. These are out of date because they just released a new series a few months ago and I haven't picked up new copies. So sue me. Whatever, that's okay. So these books are used a lot because they have a nice mix of pieces from all genres and categories. They have Baroque pieces, modern pieces, classical studies, etc. So the two that I use are the studies book, which is just like little finger exercises, but they're songs, and the repertoire book, which has like the bulk of the music. But my personal opinion is like, I see the value in books like this because it's a no-brainer. Everything is at a grade 1 level. You don't have to play any guesswork. But the downside is they're not quite as valuable in like a long-term music collection because there's just, you use them for 1 year and then you basically just toss them aside and that's it. But some of these other collections I'm going to show you, they're themed, they span multiple grades, and I feel like they're a lot more timeless. But these are great if you don't really want to think about it, you just want to do a bunch of grade 1 level pieces, and that's that. Okay, so I'm going to show you my two favorites that I use over and over again with my students. So the first one is the Christopher Norton Connection series, level 1, because like the RCM ones, these are all at a grade 1 level, which makes it nice and simple. So the reason I like using this book is because a lot of kids are like, I don't like classical music or whatever. That's fine. I try to get them into it, but this is all written in pop styles. The songs are really approachable. They're really fun. They sound, a lot of them sound more difficult than they are, although don't be fooled because lots of them actually are quite difficult. But you have all different styles of songs. So there's like lyrical, Latin, swing, jazz, stuff like that. So it's a varied pop repertoire book. And a lot of these pieces you can do for an exam, which is another reason why I like it. Alright, so my other favorite is a mammoth of a book. It is not particularly cheap, but I think it's worth it. So this is the Alfred's Essential Keyboard Repertoire Level 1. And it comes with a CD, so you can hear recordings of everything like exactly as they are in the book. And sometimes when you're like Googling, I don't know, blah, 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 on Dante in G minor or something, it can be hard to find the exact song you're looking for. So this is really handy because it's just all in one place. Now, I use this one usually in conjunction with the Christopher Norton one I just showed you because this is everything the Norton book isn't. This is all the Baroque era stuff, the classical stuff, and there's some like 19th, 20th century stuff in here too, like pieces by Kabalevsky and Tchaikovsky, as well as stuff by Bach. Now, this is also excellent because it is huge. There's a ton of songs. So the index is gigantic. It's like page 1 of the index and page 2. So what I like to do is go through the syllabus and figure out what song is at what grade level. Because this book you can use all the way up till a grade 5 level. There's tons of stuff. You can get a lot of use out of this. So now I'm going to take you on a quick tour of some of my favorite, like very small themed collection books. And these are really cheap and they're super, super fun. So the first one is by Christine Donkin, Legends and Lore. Now there's only, I think there's about 10 songs in here or so, like maybe 8 to 10. I'm not going to count it because that's unnecessary. But there's songs from everywhere from a grade 1 level to a grade 3 level. So, I mean, I'm not going to stop you if you want to just like go through and learn them all, even if you're only at a grade 1 level. That's totally fine. Sometimes it's fun to have an extra challenge. But the reason I like this is because it's all around the theme of like legends and lore. So a lot of the songs end up sounding kind of like a video game, which I kind of like. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a nerd. But some of them are also really kind of neat. Like there's a piece called Dream Journey, which is really like ethereal. And yeah, there's just lots of good stuff in here. I really like these songs. So this next one is by one of my favorite composers of kids songs, but don't be fooled by like it's called Freddy the Frog, and every song is animal themed in this book, and it looks like all really cute and adorable and like it's made for 6-year-olds. But these songs, a lot of them are like kind of silly and goofy, but some of them are like surprisingly mature sounding, and you wouldn't guess, like if you listen to it, like a song like Angelfish, for example. It's just beautiful. It's just so like I don't know, it's like kind of mysterious, a little bit melancholy. It's a very, like, it needs to be played very sensitively, which is a good challenge for a kid, but also for an adult. So if you played that song for someone, they would never know that it came out of a book like this. So I think adults can use this too. I definitely forgot to mention the composer, after say, I guess a composer is basically an author. That's semantics, right? Anyway, I said she was one of my favorites, and then I didn't actually tell you who it was. Anne Crosby. So now you know. Check out Anne Crosby. So another one that I like, it's a very, very quirky collection. So Soda Pop and Other Delights by Linda Nyamath. I think I said that right. Now, this is the same as the others. There's about a dozen pieces, but these ones are quirky. So if you like really off-kilter sounding songs that are like a little bit weird, but evoke imagery with titles like March of the Terrible Trolls, then this is the good one. Young or old, again, same thing. Don't be fooled by the titles. So basically everything I've shown you so far is like list A or list B and studies and stuff like that. So this book by Pierre Gallant is really, really good because this is all list C type songs. So list C songs at a grade 1 level are inventions and imitations. And this is just a book of them. So they start with a couple pieces at a grade 1 level. None of the other pieces are in the syllabus, but I like using them anyway because it's really good practice for that hand independence that inventions try to teach us and hopefully succeed in teaching us. So another one of my elementary level composers is Martha Meir, and she writes a lot of jazz stuff. So if you have any interest in jazz, or even if you don't, you should still try it out to see if you like it. She writes really, really good jazz books. This one I like for grade 1 level songs. It's Jazz, Rags, and Blues, book 1. And there's a few grade 1 level pieces in here as well, a couple grade 2 level pieces, but they're just really fun. That's all I can say about them. I just love them. It's hard to make pieces that sound like interesting at a grade 1 level because it's still like fairly elementary level music, but there is like a nice complexity of sound in these that make them sound maybe like a little bit harder than they actually are. So that's always a win. Okay, so now I want to talk about a few of my favorite pop collections. So this is a hefty tome, The Best Songs Ever, which is a very big claim. It is by Hal Leonard. It's big note piano. Now, the notes kind of look like this, like they're written in a large style, and I know that's not for everyone. Obviously, it's pretty good if you're a kid, but I know some adults don't like learning big note songs because it's like, I don't know, it's like insulting their abilities or something. I don't know. I understand though. So if you don't like the big note thing, that's fine. But the reason I like this one is because it has a mix of like, it really is like the best songs ever. So it's not just Disney or just movie songs or just rock and roll or anything. It's kind of like all of the above. So there's a good chance you know all of the songs in this book, like 80% of them at least. And they are all somewhere between a grade 1 to 3 level. So even if you are just at a grade 1 level, you can probably still play all of them, even if they're at like a 2 or 3 level. So you can get a lot of mileage out of this guy. So this is another good one if you like the Beatles, and this is a smaller collection. It's just 8 of their more famous pieces. And I like to use this one just because most people are down with learning the Beatles. There's not a lot of people who are like passionately against it. And most people, like even kids, know the songs. So this is also written in the big note style. So keep that in mind if that doesn't float your boat. But I like it. Okay, so this, my friends, is my favorite Disney book. It is the Disney Collection Hal Leonard series, and it's easy piano. So, like I think I just said, I have a bad memory, but I think I said this is my favorite Disney book, and if I didn't, then now you know, and if I did, now you know twice. So this is a huge collection, lots of famous Disney pieces in here, and it's kind of like halfway between big note and just like normal writing. So there's only one piece, there's probably a few, but pieces that are at a grade 1 level in the syllabus, but there are higher level pieces in here. So this is kind of like a book that you can grow into if you really like Disney, where some of them are playable at an easier level, but most of them are like at a 2 or 3 level or higher. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so those are my favorite books at a grade 1 level that I recommend to students or use just a lot in my studio. And I showed you, like, none of my students get this many books at a grade 1 level, but I kind of wanted to show you a range because everyone has their own personal preferences and what they're interested in. Like, some people love Disney, some people hate it. Some people love the Beatles, and that's it. So thank you for watching this video. If there are any books that you enjoy at a grade 1 level, just leave it in the comments below to help other people out so we can have like a good a good list with lots of choices. Because sometimes I find it a little bit difficult to find pieces at the lower levels because there's just not as many lower level collections. Like once you get to like an 8, 9, 10 level, there's like thousands of songs, right? By all those famous guys. Anyway, I'm kind of going on and on here. But like I said again, if I remember correctly, thank you for watching and I'll catch you next time. Oh, my cat was just playing the piano, but then I turned on the camera and she got shy. I was going to show you her masterpiece in the bass clef.